Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 25th of March. And well, we had a little bit of fade off after making the new highs and coming right back to this rising ABM yellow, which at this particular stage should provide support, but we're getting close to a crossover of magenta below yellow at the 33 level. And for the first time, a significant rise, one of the highest levels of short increases since this last dip we took to the ABM green level. Will it be enough to push things a little further? Not so much, because DOC is already showing that green has taken over cyan, and cyan's already dipping below red to start the day. So it's just a momentary, fill back in of the previous up move over here, and pretty much normal action. I don't think any of this is out of the normal. We can see the NQ though. Bigger short interest. Now that's interesting situation, because as long as the magenta stays above, all that's going to do is provide powder for a significant short cover move. The question then becomes: are we seeing, economic developments that suggest that things are turning in a direction that would justify more selling? At this particular stage, I think you're just getting opportune moves, people trying to digest whether or not the increases are justifiable. But with the inflation rate that it is, you have to take that component into account, and that has a significant impact, of course. You don't have any incentive to move into treasuries or an alternative class in this particular case, because that yield continuing to drop a little bit with this expectation that there are going to be rate cuts. And of course, the Fed still says there are going to be rate cuts. Hard to imagine when you look at oil over the 80 mark. That just means inflation rate is going to be increasing, not decreasing, or not even holding steady. It makes it pretty difficult to see how they justify that. And like we've talked about, the euro suffers as oil rises, and the fact that they're able to hold it up this level has been quite good, but it's necessary, because if it fades into that below 106 range, it becomes very problematic and hard to contain, because then you get a capital flight. From a gold standpoint, slight increase, and again, this is going to become the alternative class moving into commodities and or crypto. You can see Bitcoin making its move, and of course, you're about less than a month away before the halving, which would be an interesting move, because the miners then get half the reward, so it's an instant pay cut, so to speak. And depending on their margins and that gets to be pretty difficult. So we'll see how that one plays out with that. And of course, you have ETH, and right now they all have positive readings at this particular stage, even though their shakeout's a little bit weak. So likely we're going to see some back and forth with the action there, and not too different than what we expected from the market. Of course, we're just getting a fill of positive extremes. We just took out the early setup there. That leaves the original breakout move, which would take you down to the 5270-ish range, and then the very initial breakout move, which under a complete sell signal, we would expect to move down to that 5230 range. So all in all, I think it's fairly decent, healthy action. Readings have been pretty clear on it, and followed it pretty straightforward. When we look at it from an intraday action, again, test the lows, not enough supply there. That causes the buildup, and then once it peaks out, they take advantage of that, dip it back, test those lows again. And that's what we started to do, and then there started to become a little bit more supply. And in the European session here, that created a bit more of a dip, and that's what we're seeing right now. So we'll see if that stiffens up, or if the selling can continue. And it's just a matter of watching those readings, and particularly on the 50K, we've had MBI white leads, so the expectation to the 50% was definitely there. But when we get to the 50%, if white's still leading, then I would expect another move down towards the 23%, which would be interesting, because it's been quite a drop off once we had the DOC spread. So there you have it. That's the long and the short of it for now. As always, start of a new week. Trade well, and of course we have the Pascua or Easter holidays coming up, so Good Friday and that will definitely be for a shortened week. So we'll see how that all plays out, because you may end up getting traders leaving a little early, and that always creates a little bit of an interesting setup when you get to the secondary players, because it usually creates a little more swings. So we'll see how it goes. Have a good one, and anything relevant, I'll put on the Skype chat.